to pursue some of these local laws, and I think it was determined at that time that we wanted to focus on the solid waste and the tag fee. I spoke with the legislative delegation today, and they had recommended that we try to pick a couple like that to focus on if we are going to pursue this. So it would be my recommendation, if everyone's in agreement, that we hold off on pursuing the lodging tax until perhaps next year, once we've seen these laws go through. If in fact we do find that one of these other laws is not going to be pushed by the legislature, then we can jump back on this. But right now I think it would be beneficial for us to focus on those other items. Are there any comments or questions on that?
I agree. I'm in favor.
So we'll go ahead and entertain any of the comments that we've had for anyone to sign up tonight. But again, we'll hold off until we get some better information. I think we're going to be able to pursue these other things, and I think we need to put our focus on that. Those are going to be where the big helpers for our budget are. So with that, we'll go ahead, and we've had a few sign up, two I think sign up on the lodging tax. And first is Mr. Crawford.
Appreciate your consideration. I'm proud of you for making this decision. I hope that we don't come back to this point again, because it's not a good source of revenue. I think it would cripple our industry. And I applaud you for making a wise decision. If you're not going to pursue it today, I'm not going to either. Thank you.
Hopefully we won't have to. And then Mr. Patel, Right Patel. Anything additional? Thank you, sir. That was it. Were there any others? I think that's all we had signed up. The rest should have been County Road 61. Okay. All right, next item regarding the recycling program for the county. You have in your packets a draft resolution or contract that would be signed with the entity recycling for Scottsboro on how we would dispose of our recyclables. This has been talked about a little bit. The Public Works or the Solid Waste Department has pursued and is beginning this process. Of course, we need a place to dispose of these items once we start to collect them. I think this is probably the first time most anyone has seen this. I'd like you to review it, and of course, if there are any questions or comments at this time, those. So 2 weeks for further discussion. If we're ready to proceed, and if we proceed, and if not, so that would be the 30th. If there's no objection, I'd like to place this on the agenda for the 30th. And again, this is just the agreement on how we would dispose of those materials, how we would be compensated for those materials if we were to do it that way. Any questions or comments? Okay. So we'll place this on the agenda for further discussion, and if you have any changes that need to be made, please do with me before the next meeting, so that we can have those changes made by that meeting. Okay. Next item is County Road 61 in Pisgah. Again, a couple of folks have signed up to speak on that. We will need to look at setting a public hearing, and I think we wanted to see about doing that at the school, and we'll talk about that momentarily. So before we proceed, we have a letter from the school system. A letter to the school system. Okay. You all have in your packets a copy of the letter from the school board, or from the superintendent regarding the closure of County Road 61 for the portion 802 feet, as it notes here, at the school there. This is something we will need to consider if we wish to pursue it. We'll have to have a public hearing, as we've done with County Road 96, and we'll set that up probably for the end of February. So before we proceed, are any questions or comments from the commission? We'll go ahead and have our speakers on this, and then we'll move on with our further discussion. First one to sign up is Ronnie Shelton.
And I I have a grandson and a daughter who, my grandson attends Pisgah High School. It's a K through 12 school, and my daughter teaches there. I'm a former employee of the Jackson County Board of Education, and I'm working I'm retired in Alabama now, working in Georgia. And I want to say thanks to each of you tonight. We're looking at everybody's safety here. So I really think that closing it would make it a safer campus. And again, thanks for letting me speak to you.
Principal of Pisgah High School, and basically Ronnie pretty much touched on everything that needed to be said. I mean, my primary concern is the safety of the kids, and I know, that there are a few people that may be a little concerned, it may be a little inconvenienced, but it's like I said, it's 802 feet. Mr. Brewster's going to give you some facts, basically, as far as travel time and distance in a few minutes, and you're going to be amazed at how little of an inconvenience that is. And to me, that little minute inconvenience is well worth the safety of a child or an adult. We've had 2 teachers in my time there that's almost been hit by a car. I don't know if you know the layout of the road, but the campus is on a heap and then it drops off. So cars zoom up this other side. And there's speed bumps, but they will miss the speed bumps and get in the other lane to go up that road. And one of our teachers who actually lives there, and is Mr. Moore, and he told me, he said, as a resident, it will be a little inconvenience, but as a teacher, it is definitely needed. He said, because I almost got hit one day. The car zooming up through there. Our lunchroom ladies will be at the other meeting, and they say, all the time throughout the day, if they see cars zooming by the lunchroom sits basically 3-4 feet off the road. We have approximately 200 students that cross that road every day. Every day. We have classes across the road every period of the day. So they're going across that road multiple times. This is students mainly junior high to high school age, but there are some elementary age kids that come across in the morning that ride with their older siblings. And we do have a small crosswalk. I've heard comments made by people who will, they use the crosswalk. Well, they do use the crosswalk, but people don't observe the crosswalk. Those drivers that's coming up through there very rarely pay attention to that. We can have kids standing on the other side and cars will just keep going. They won't even stop. So it is something that's desperately needed, and it is a minor inconvenience, and I think the majority of the people is definitely for this. And if there's anything that I can do, any questions I can answer, I'll be glad to. I know there's been some questions, basically, how are we going to handle this? And the ideal, if you're familiar with the road, is basically to put a gate at the end, which is close to Thompson Street, which will not cut off any traffic to Thompson Street, and then put an entrance, a main entrance to the school, that'll be gated, that'll be at Metcalf Street, which will not interfere with Metcalf Street. We own both sides of the road. The school, Board of Education, owns both sides of the road from Thompson to Metcalf. So there's no businesses, nothing, but school property that road separates. And it's like Mr. Shelton said, a safety issue. This will also give us an opportunity to regulate traffic in and out of our school. We can gate the other entrances, have that one entrance coming into the school, and that just for safety concerns other than the traffic, that will also help this area. It will also help alleviate some traffic. We're so condensed. Our campus is probably the smallest campus in Jackson County. We're the second largest school in Jackson County with student population. We have 700 students. And we have to load buses in the middle of a parking lot. We have car riders in the middle of a parking lot because we have no room. This will help alleviate some of that. It's not going to be an immediate solution, but within a year, with some changes to our layout, then we can alleviate a lot of that problem just by simply closing this road down. So not only is it going to alleviate safety concerns, but it's also going to make it much safer and much easier for traffic to flow in and out around Pisgah. And again, if I can answer any questions, I'll be glad to.
Which one is Metcalf Street?
Metcalf Street is the street that runs by a baseball field up to the housing project.
I have a question for you, Mr. Dudley.
Yes, sir.
These gates, can these be opened from school is not in session?
They could, but my suggestion is, I mean, to me, that's y'all's call, but my perspective on that is close it and let it be part of the school grounds. let us regulate that. I think I think partially you would cause problems, people not knowing when the gates are open, when they're not, because there's so many school activities at a high school. I mean, it's 6 days a week, all hours of the night. There's rec ball, basketball, football, practice, something. So my suggestion would be close it and just let that become part of the campus.
Discussed, I think I talked to Mr. Guffey earlier about having a public hearing at the school.
Yes, sir. Anytime, that'd be fine. I
Thank you.
appreciate y'all's,
After the meeting,
excuse me,
and maybe after the meeting and try to let's get some dates.
okay.
I know it's basketball season, and I wanna make sure that we get as many people as we can to come. And so I'd like to try to look at a date, and maybe we need to get back in touch with us and let us know, basketball, a lot of people else. We're gonna work on the schedule.
That'd be fine. Anything I can do to help, and I'm like, Mr. Shelton, appreciate you guys considering this, because, my main concern is the safety of our kids and our employees, and anything you can do to help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bruce?
County Administrator. I'll be speaking from a law enforcement standpoint. The Pisgah Police Department, part-time police department, and the sheriff's office obviously is strapped for manpower as well. So for an officer to be working in that school zone is hit and miss at best. In fact, I got a call just a couple of weeks ago from a teacher. She said somebody just came through here, hanging out the window, hollering, "Get out of the way, get out of the way." They went through, she said, probably about 50 miles an hour. Kids, she was trying to get the kids out of the way because she was out there flagging traffic and all this. And of course, nobody happened to be on duty, so they got away. But anyway, besides all that, manpower problems, Pisgah School speed limit is actually in place or enforced according to the sign when children are present, which potentially could be from 7 a.m. up until 5 or 6 p.m. So that would mean placing an officer in that 802 feet of stretch of road or span of road would be impractical. It'd be unfair to put one officer or one deputy guarding 802 feet. It'd be unfair to the town of Pisgah and the county, Jackson County. Now here's some facts as related to Pisgah school zone. On average, 306 vehicles travel within that school zone in only a 40-minute period of time. That's from 7 to 7:40 a.m. 306 cars in 40 minutes. There's no telling how many cars travel through it from 7:40 till 4 or 5 p.m. Now, I don't have those stats because I've never sit out there for 10 hours and counted cars. On average, 43 people, that's students and teachers also, they cross back and forth in that same 40-minute period of time in the morning. Now, according to Mr. Guffey, I hear him say that throughout the day, approximately 200 children cross that road because there's classes on that side of the road. So you got quite a few people crossing the road throughout the day as well. Using satellite imagery, Google Earth, there's 169 feet difference, and that's all between traveling through the school zone and going around the school zone. 169 feet, which the engineer could probably tell you that's not a whole lot of footage, for a road, just 169 feet. But when you factor in that a vehicle is to travel 15 miles per hour, because that is the posted speed limit throughout the day until that school is completely shut down, it is 15 miles per hour because children are still present. When you factor in that a vehicle is to travel 15 miles per hour through that posted speed limit, through that school zone, then a person will save approximately 1 minute and 29 seconds by going around the school zone and by taking County Road 88 and then on to Thompson Street. And I suppose the biggest objection is going to be inconvenience, but when you can actually make up 1 minute and 29 seconds by going around it, now granted that the person will travel the speed limit, okay? They'll make better time going around it. So that's all I've got as far as facts and numbers and footage and things of this nature. Anybody have any questions?
That's what you've given us here, the time frame, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The only thing that I've researched further is the, on average, 306 vehicles, and the number of children and teachers and personnel crossing the road during that 40-minute span. That's the only thing I've added.
What do you think the average speed is? I know, like you said, you can sit there all the time, I'm just curious.
If a police car is not sitting there?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I know I've been out there and it looks like people going 40 miles an hour.
I would say, around 40, 45, yeah. We have been sitting there and calling it 50,
Yeah.
you know, 15.
Once I was gonna start, I went around to look at the difference. And, while I was there, people was passing me, because I had pulled over to school, was kind of looking. It looked like they were going extremely fast to be that close to a school.
Yeah, it's a terrible design, I don't know who come up with it years ago, but.
It seemed like it was, at one time, it was a lot of schools. Like I said, Morris Mountain was like it at one time, and they shut it down. The county shut it down, I wasn't part of the county, they shut it down, and it's great.
Are you with the Pisgah Police Department also, Mr. Bruce?
Yes, sir, the chief up there.
And I noticed that there's a letter in support from Pisgah City Council.
Yes, sir.
Did they hold a meeting in regards to this, or?
They held a council meeting.
They did?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh,